All right, we should be good, Dope.
We're good to go? Okay, I'm looking to see if we popped up on the... No, not yet. I ain't found it there, but I'll find it eventually. Anyways, Hoagie's Garage again tonight. We like to run down through our sponsors real quick before we get going here. We got to thank them all, but we got Mount Tabor Cabinetry out in central Pennsylvania with Chris Fizzle. Morning Sun Marketplace out in central Pennsylvania also. And then there's My Race Pass. If you ain't got that and you're into racing, you're doing something wrong. They got everything. We're going to get started here right shortly on that. Turn 2 Lodge in Knoxville. If you need a place to stay, it's literally right outside of Turn 2. Kaiser Aluminum Wheels out of Alton, Orange City, whatever you want to call it. All your aluminum wheel needs for all sorts of things. I think they're in the brakes now, we decided. Fulkins Brothers Trucking. Got to thank Steve again for my last trip. Appreciate that. Heartland Hardware. They got stores in Brandon, South Dakota, George, Iowa, and Hayward, Iowa. All your appliance needs. I think they even sell mattresses out of the Brandon store, don't they? And then, of course, we don't want to forget Hero Haven. The things they do for all the first responders throughout the area is an amazing thing. Anyways, now back to you, bud.
All right, we're going to start the podcast here as soon as I hit this button. Hey, we're back at Hoagie's Garage, and we're lucky enough to have a duo on tonight.
We're lucky enough to have Riley anyhow.
Rumor has it they're teaming up a little bit this year. So Riley Goodno and Jason Dewall, how you guys doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing really good. It's very good to talk to you guys again.
You bet.
Yeah, doing great.
That's good. Good to hear, guys. We have no rhyme or reason for what we're doing tonight.
Typical.
But maybe first, Riley, you were over in Australia for quite a while, weren't you? Let's maybe just talk about Australia. How'd that all go for you?
It could have went better. We had some mechanical issues to start, so about 3 races in, we had a loose fuel line, and it burned up the hoses in the engine. And then we went out for the next race, and the oil line hose blew. We had another fire, and then we had some more mechanical problems it was about the last weekend at the big race, the Classic down there, and we ended up making the show on our preliminary night, and we finished like 13th, and we were in a spot in the B main on Saturday, and then we had another fuel leak in the tank, and then if you have a fuel leak in the tank, they disqualify you from that race, so it didn't go as good as we wanted it to, but we still had fun.
Yeah, it still got laps in and stuff like that, right?
Yep. We got a lot of laps in still, so that's always good.
And you missed a little bit of Midwest winter, although winter wasn't very bad this year.
No, it actually wasn't bad until I got back in February. Like, was it the beginning of February where it was like negative degrees for like a week? I think it was.
Well, maybe only like 4 or 5 days. Let's not go a whole week. We won't go 7 days.
Hey, when he comes from
it felt like the whole week. It felt like the whole month.
It probably felt like that for him.
Yeah, it felt like a year.
Oh, so when you go over to Australia, do you take all your own stuff? Do you ship it over, Riley, or do you use stuff there, or how does that all work?
So I run Dave Challenge. His car's over there, the 45. He brings his car over here for the Nationals. I don't know if you've seen that car before. It's like a gray and silver 45 car. So I run his car down there because he's a J&J dealer down there. So that's how we kind of got that hooked up. So I just bring my driving suit.
No, you didn't have to bring your seat or nothing along. You had one that would fit you.
Well, I shipped the seat down there, so I guess I'd bring a seat down there too. But that seat just stays down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Geez, if you know off the top of your head, what does one of them seats cost? Because I watched the video the other day when Pastrana drove one of the Ridge & Sons cars, and they were in there with a 20-ton jack spreading the seat out, because Aaron's quite a bit littler than what Pastrana was, to get him in the car. and I don't think you probably want to bend that back and call it safe, but I don't know. But I thought, damn, that's going to cost Pastrana a little money probably to buy a new seat.
Yeah, because I think it was a brand new seat too for Reitzel.
So,
And I don't know, I think they're like $2,000-$3,000 maybe. I haven't really looked.
damn, Bill, I wasn't going to guess that high.
Oh, you bet. So back in the U.S., and when do you start racing, Riley? Have you raced already here in the United States?
No, we actually have not raced this year yet. We're going to start this weekend we're going to go to Burlington, Iowa, and then Stewart on Sunday and run just 2 360 shows to start the season.
So now I got to ask, is that in your own car then, or will that be in the 16 car already?
Nope, that'll be in our own car. So our own car will run, basically we say like, we'll run our car south of I-80, and then we'll run Dewall's car north of I-80, like all the Minnesota shows and the Houston shows. And then we're going to run our car at like Knoxville and Jacksonville, I guess you'd say, and those races.
Okay.
You bet. Jason, how'd Riley Goodno come about for you guys?
Well, they were looking for somebody above that hillbilly dividing line of I-80, and we came up. So, sorry, I had to take a shot there at the hillbillies down below I-80. But yeah, there's a short list of people who have podiumed against the Outlaws at Houston Speedway in the last 4 years that don't run with the Outlaws or the high limits, and Riley's one of them, right?
Yeah.
And he's they've been friends of ours. We picnic with these guys every summer the last couple of years, like during the Jackson Nationals. And it just kind of happened organically where I think it's kind of the way of the entire industry right now where there's consolidation. I suppose it's like anything else, any other business, is you do have to view it as a business. And it just kind of made sense for us to get together. And you want to race with people that you like. You want to race with people that you think are good and going to give you a chance. And he checked all the boxes for us. And, I think my dad working with Riley and his dad sort of, I'm too heavy-handed and dull to figure out the information my dad has to pass down. Maybe he can help pass some down to Riley. So he gets to do a little tutoring here.
Just at risk of being a little bit of a smart aleck, because I am that way. You said you like to race with people that you like and stuff. So I'm assuming you're saying that the Goodnos get along with your dad then? Is that what you're saying? Or
that's
are you
right.
included on that?
Real well.
Okay.
Yes, they don't get along with me,
Okay.
but they get along with my dad.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, they're the good people. They're good racers without us. And when you're combining forces, you're kind of looking around who else is looking to do the same thing. And it just made sense and lined up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it sounds like, north of I-80 and south of I-80, I mean, it's a nice dividing line. I mean, it makes it pretty simple as to who's running what races. And, and
yeah, that's right. And for them, Riley's a go-getter. He wants to race 80 times a year, 60 to 80 times a year. My dad's 74, has a mechanically inept child who does a lot of podcasts but doesn't touch the car. So we're in a position where Doug and Gary and, thank God we have the good cops and, Rich and Mike and some guys that help out. But for the most part, it is my dad doing a lot of the hard labor.
Yeah.
So we have a limited schedule, and our limited schedule fit what they were looking for. Right? We can do 30 races together roughly above I-80, and everybody kind of gets what they want.
Yeah,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a perfect setup to me.
So, Riley, I would say, I mean, we have 3 TVs set up in here right behind us, and there's like, I don't know if there's very many nights that you're not on one of them racing somewhere. I mean, the last couple of years, you've been everywhere racing, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, me and my dad have been kind of losing our minds that we haven't raced yet just because of family stuff that's been going on, and the weather's been not too good since we got back. So just yeah, I've raced a lot in the last couple of years, and I like racing a lot. I mean, it keeps me busy, you know, keeps me in shape. But I'm getting out of shape now. But yeah, we just need to get back racing again.
Now, you're a hockey player. I have a hard time believing you ever get out of shape.
I'm not a hockey player anymore.
I know, but you were a hockey player, so.
Well, if you're out of shape, it might be time to start working on that because the season is
Yeah, I know.
upon us, buddy.
Yep.
You'll
Yep.
be winded that end of that first feature. Me and Bud are winded watching it, so I know you got to work at it while you're there, so that'll make it even worse. But
I'll defend Riley's honor here. I'll challenge the two of you to a foot race at the High Banks this summer. The three of us on the backstretch, 100-yard dash. We'll do it for charity.
Whoa. Let's not go 100. You know, if you're thinking you want to do something like that, maybe a 30 or a 40.
Okay,
but...
now we got to do this like drag racing. You got your 8-second cars and your 16-second cars. They get an advantage at the starting line at least.
I smell fear. That's all I hear. All I hear is fear.
This is pure logic, and we know we're going to get our butts kicked. So,
especially if Riley's involved. If it's Jason, I don't
still
know.
gonna pull a hammy, I bet.
You know, we're used to running 60 feet to first base.
Yeah, there you go. We might have to find a different contest. But I also think it's funny what any, you know, early 20-something view is out of shape. That's where we all aspire to get one more time in our life, you know. So I think we'll be just fine, buddy.
Yeah,
well, I got people telling me that I'm out of shape.
That's your dad, probably, right?
Yeah, and my mom.
Of course, if we were going to have a BS contest, then your front runners would have to be me and Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
You know,
there you go.
You'd be my first two picks.
Tag team champs of the world. We'll take on all comers.
Riley, you know, you drove for a different team in Australia. You know, now you're going to be driving for the Dewall family. Have you driven for other people, and how does your conversations go? I mean, you know, I really don't know what I'm after here, but you know, as far as like setups and stuff, how hard is it to tell new people that you're working with what you want?
I don't think it's hard to tell people what you want if they like listen to you and like take your words into consideration when they're making setup changes. So I don't think it's hard. I just basically, you know, I just race their car and I just really just tell them what I feel, and I ask them questions about how the car is set up and stuff like that. But no, it's Dave Challenge and Doug. That's the only two people that I've drove different cars for. But when I race with Doug, it'll be all my stuff. So it's basically just Doug setting it up.
Okay, yeah. So what is the plan there? So it's your stuff kind of going into Doug's car, or how, Jason or somebody explain to us how you guys got this set up?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Goodnos are J&J dealers, so we're going to be running J&J cars this year. And, you know, they've already got existing motors. We might run some of ours. But from a lot of it is going to be stuff that Riley's already familiar with, a lot of their equipment, right? But to kind of get back to your question, one of the things, you know, all joking aside, that I'd say the driver crew chief discussions, the way they speak to each other, is incredibly important, and maybe something. I think that's a good question because it might be overlooked. You think, it's always the same. Well, it's not. There's different personalities, and there's different. Even you can speak a different language almost. The way one driver might describe something that they feel, they might use completely different words or verbiage. And as a kid who's ran from the police once or twice and gotten in a little bit of trouble, I know my dad has a lot of patience and can speak to people in their early 20s in a real good, calm way. And I think maybe I imagine him being really good speaking to Riley, and I think they'll have a good vibe. And it's something that he's actually actively thought about, like, how is this going to be a little different coming from a situation where, you know, he probably spoke the exact same language with the veteran because they both had a million laps under him, you know?
you know, and one guy's loose is not the same as the next guy's loose. You know,
No.
some guys just they loose is fast, and if you want to, so I do think it gets really technical on what's loose to one is not loose to another guy.
Yep, and even terminology. To this day, I'll admit this, 3/4 of people who listen to this might laugh, but like when someone says, I know what I view a car as being tight, but I don't know what they mean when they say right rear tight.
Yeah.
Or left rear tight. And someone might mean that in a different way than the other. So it's like you're learning a bit of a new dialect almost, a new language.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, we're asking questions from a fan and a push truck driver's perspective, so we don't know anything.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm in the same boat, buddy.
That's all I look at. But so, how many races do you have on your schedule then this year, Riley?
I'd say about 80 to 90 now since we haven't raced yet. So once we get going, we're going to try to hit about every race that we possibly can. So it'll probably be about 80 or 90 shows.
So when it's north of I-80, are the cars staying up here? Are they staying with the Dewalls, or how are the car situation going? I mean, are you going to be able to go from Knoxville on Saturday and just take a car up here on Sunday, or how does that work?
So the Walls, they have 2 of our cars up there in their shop, and then we have another trailer that they're gonna tow with. So they're gonna have a trailer, a mule, and 2 cars up there. So I'll just be able to get in the car on Sunday and drive up to Houston.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
It'll make the drive home a lot nicer too, without having to take the hauler back.
Yeah. Well, I kind of figured it up. It would save our toter and trailer like 10,000 miles a year just driving to Houston and back.
Really? I wouldn't get quite that many, but
yeah.
Good thing we live as close as we do, bud.
That's right. You got that right.
I maybe get 1,000 miles on the push truck. I don't know. But
what track are you most looking forward to going to, Riley? Which ones do you really like?
Probably the Deer Creek race, the World Outlaw race.
Okay.
Something different, Some of those tracks up there in Wisconsin that we don't normally go to, those are probably some tracks that I'm looking forward to.
So, for either one of you, whichever one of you knows, obviously you're running your own car this coming weekend, you said. When's the first one in the 16 car, the Dewall car? Is it going to be the 16 car then yet, or is it going to be actually your own number yet?
Nope, it's going to be 16.
Okay. So is Mother's Day your first run with that one, or is there a race before that yet?
Nope, that'll be our first race. It'll be Mother's Day race at Houston.
Now, Jason, when I reached out to you and talked to you a little bit, you said you're going with kind of the throwback scheme. Is that true?
Yeah, it's the car was blue forever and a day from a choice when I was like 5 years old. So, and with my grandpa Marvin, then we kind of went with a throwback scheme of Gary's car from like the 91, 89, 90, 91. Really, it's just the car that I grew up with, and I probably liked the most out of any of them, paint scheme wise. And so we thought, kind of a new phase here. Let's change the look up a little bit, Yeah. So,
has it ever been anything other than blue?
It has. There was actually in '94, the second point championship Gary won. It was red. Believe it or not, They had a year where it was red, and then, but by and large, it was either blue or purple. I would say most of the time.
Yeah.
So why red?
It was whoever paid the bills liked red at the time, and I'm trying to remember who the sponsor was.
Money talks.
I can't remember exactly, but they liked a red car. They wanted a red car. They bought a red car, so we raced a red car.
Yeah. Well, it worked out. Yeah, you won a championship with it, so color don't matter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh.
So, we always like to let you throw out. Let's look what excuse me, let's put Jason on the spot. But we'd like to have you guys list off the sponsors. So we'll let Riley go first on his car. And then we'll see if Jason can name any off of the Dewall car.
Go slow, Riley.
Quality Traffic Control, Stivers Ford Lincoln, Goodno Promotion, and Schilling Excavating, and J&J Auto Racing.
Okay. How many of those are involved with your dad? Doesn't your dad own a few
Basically
businesses?
all of them.
Say that again.
Basically all of them. So Quality Traffic Control is my dad's company. Stivers Ford Lincoln is where we get all our trucks from, so they give us some money for racing. And Schilling Excavating is Tony Schilling, who lives in Knoxville, who used to race for my dad.
So I'll have to ask your dad. If I got questions with my signing problems, then I can ask his dad at the track. He'll have all the answers for
Call him up.
See?
Is that who you get your signs from?
No, I buy mine from the inmates is where I buy my signs. Different stuff I buy from other companies, but I'll have to check into this now.
Yeah.
Support
Absolutely.
racers, what the hell?
Yeah, well, it's kind of the county's money, so.
Yeah. So a little bit of it's yours and mine. Tax dollars. Do we need to stall any longer, Jason, or?
No, you're good. That's the last time I'll ask Riley to go slow all year, I assure you. But thank you for a little stall there.
Oh, man. You're Johnny on the spot. That's for dang sure.
I kind of want to, I feel this is like the 5th year that I've kind of personally been involved in this. So I kind of want to give like an additional thank you to people who did this like from day one with us.
Yep.
I mean, I-29 hopped on board right away and was a great partner. They're not going to be a main sponsor this year. You know, that business fluctuates like everybody's.
Oh, yeah.
But they were awesome from day one. And even though they're not going to be like a main sponsor, we actually referred someone out there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they've sponsored the track a lot as well. So, you know, big pitch there. If you need some help in that area, go see those guys. They've been great to us. My buddy Ryan Hampel, he was the first guy really to give us any money, and really it was kind of his idea that he and I pool our funds and see if we couldn't go broke together and get this thing off the ground again. Kid Phil Neal is a local guy. You know, Derek Lusk, who used to race, he decided not to race. He sent Phil over our way. Phil hopped on right away early. And my cousin Josh at My Race Pass, who sponsors this podcast. Josh is like global now. The guy's like crazy. He built this thing up where everybody, I'm amazed at what he did, and I thought he was nuts. I couldn't see it. Nobody had the vision, but he did, and he built it. And it's such an impressive mechanism now. My Race Pass is awesome.
And do you say he's your cousin?
Yeah, Josh is my cousin. Him and Doug have been deer hunting together since Josh was old enough to hold a gun. You know, like Josh is like a son who actually was kind of smart and behaved to my dad. So he's looked after him a long time. And then we had a guy named Kenny Pell with a Whiffle as well, who has helped us out way back when Gary would drive. You know, so, but you know, we've got Berg Auto Mall, Make It Mine Design. They do the design for our cars every year, so the new look is theirs, and they've always done a good job. Greg Parents helped us every year and helps a lot of the people at the track. Doesn't really want to get a ton of fanfare for it, but that guy supports Houston Speedway, I'd say, more than any other individual that goes there. That's off the top of my head, which actually I think wasn't bad. If I forgot anybody, sorry, you know.
We put people on the spot all the time, so we hope sponsors understand.
Yeah.
Some guys are lucky enough to be standing by their car in the shop when they're talking to us, and other ones aren't. So,
yeah. Riley, do you have apparel that you have available or not?
Yeah, it's going to be available once we get our website up, our website up soon. So, but we'll have apparel at every track. We're going to have a t-shirt truck at Knoxville most of the year, and yeah.
So when your website comes up, will that just be Riley Goodno Racing, or what will that be, you think?
Yes, it'll be RileyGoodnoRacing.com.
Okay.
All right.
I got to jump back just a little bit. You were talking about Derek Lusk. I remember a Gabby Lusk. Is that like a father-son thing, or?
Gabby's his dad.
Okay.
Gabby and Derek were sitting in the shop when that idea came about, and Gabby was like one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember Gabby racing.
Oh, yeah. And I thought of two people. And by the way, if you're sponsored by a bar, you better not forget the bar sponsor. So Buster's Resort. I forgot the boys at Buster's.
We don't have a bar sponsor yet.
Well, there you go. I'll
We did
lean on
for
them a
our
little bit.
after-show thing.
Yeah.
That was
We'll see what we
12.
can do with them. And Rich's Oil is also a cousin of mine. And Fast Freddy, we got our fuel from. If you ever met Fast Freddy from Fast Fred's headporting, you've had an adventure over there. So
Never met Fast Freddy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a hoot, man. And then Mike Carruthers also. That's it. Sorry, I sound like a NASCAR driver on extended version here.
No, that's all right. That's what we're here for. We got to get them out
Hey,
there.
that's right.
Everybody knows you ain't doing much racing if you ain't got some sponsors.
That's right. That's for darn sure.
So
I'm just looking up. We got, we did that little thing afterwards that we were talking about, Jason, that Toad's going to be probably gone half the year this year.
not that much.
But I think our new sponsor, is there a bar behind the Pizza Ranch called Hideaway or something? So
In Jackson?
Because 212, I think, is closing. Or
Yeah.
the
Oh, I
bar's
heard
up for
that.
sale.
I heard that. Yeah.
So
The
I think
Hideaway, that's the one in Corson, ain't it? That's the bar in Corson? Is that called the Hideaway?
You guys are the men who hang out at locations of ill repute. Don't ask me. I'm at church on Sundays.
If you want to go there, everybody sells a Pepsi or a Diet Coke. We can go anywhere and get that. I can buy
No,
them
I
at the
honestly
Pee
don't
Wee
know.
game uptown.
in case you want proof, go to Facebook. I'm a Diet Coke guy. That's all I do. And Toad's pretty much
there you
only a
go.
Pepsi. So but,
Sounds like you need a designated beer drinker while we go talk to the Hideaway Bar. I think I'll make an exception this time.
Okay,
So I'm your guy.
carry us through.
Yeah.
Now I will say this last time that I went to Vegas with Steve, and his wife gave me crap last year we went to Pennsylvania. She said that camper that we took, the motorhome, is a Pepsi-free zone. She don't like Pepsi. So this year I took some brown grocery bags and I wrapped up my 12-pack of Pepsi and I wrote on it that I identify as Coke and brought it over to the motorhome. So technically
There you
I was
go.
drinking Coke when I was in Vegas. So.
As long as you're not snorting it, you're good in Vegas. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Well, I got enough contact high, I think, walking around on the streets downtown, though.
There's some
now there's a
crazy
lot of
stuff out
skunks
there.
in. There's a lot of skunks in Vegas. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
At least it smells like
that was
skunks.
my first experience for Vegas, and it was an eye-opener for a small-town Iowa boy. But it was a lot of fun. I had an absolute blast, so. But
Yeah,
now
it's a great
we're
spot.
wandering off on my vacation, so.
Yeah, imagine that.
Anyways, in the fall of '98, I visited Mount Rushmore on my way to Las Vegas. Is that how this started? Well, should I not tell my vacation stories?
Oh,
Is this
no,
not
you
the
go
time?
right ahead. We'll listen. This is going to be
Oh,
a good
okay,
one back in
okay.
'98.
I'm ready to race, guys.
So are we.
Yeah.
Last week was a killer. We have 3 TVs. There's absolutely no races on. It
Nothing
was
we could find,
Right?
really. So we were watching
Yeah.
races from, 2-3 years ago, I think we pulled
Yeah.
one up. Watch that.
I did the same thing the other night. I actually pulled up a couple races from the last few years that I just thought were really good ones that I enjoyed. And I was trying to review the Knoxville Nationals, and I actually had difficulty on Dirt Vision getting it to play.
Oh.
So
Well, see, the benefit, if you're like me and Bud, see, as long as you go back more than a month or two, we can't remember who won that race anyhow.
it's like seeing it new all over again, right?
Yeah, we're good friends with Snow and Shane with the Lumber Lounge and Garage, and somehow them guys remember every damn race they've ever seen. They'll tell you who won it and this and that, and I can't I can still tell you who won at Vegas, but that's as far as it's going to go.
Speaking of that, Riley, what's your biggest win?
My biggest win in a sprint car?
Anything.
What do you call your biggest win, or what's your most memorable then?
Oh, probably in Port City, Oklahoma. I won an outlaw micro race in March, like 4 years ago at the Turnpike Challenge. That's probably my most memorable one. That track's pretty tough.
Okay. I don't know if you moved a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit, Riley. but
Well,
you know,
maybe it got moved closer to the window.
There you go.
Better now. Yeah, we got you now. But
There we go.
so you said
But
it
you
was
want to hear my biggest win?
yeah.
I beat a guy for $100 in an arm wrestling match in Oklahoma City, right outside of the Sky Bar, 2006.
Did it last a while, or did you just hammer him?
It was a rigorous battle. I outlasted him. He was more drunk than I was.
what were you doing at a bar?
I'm
just,
wrestling.
I'm wrestling. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I cleaned it after hours. That's what I did. I wasn't
Oh,
drinking. I
okay.
just had a part-time job.
Okay, now we know. So we're good.
Riley, I really hope you know what you're getting into.
Oh, I do.
Just don't listen to anything he tells
I
you
think
about
I
the
do.
race car. Only talk
We're gonna have
to
a
his
good
dad.
time.
Oh.
We're gonna have a good time. It'll be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. You end up missing your friends over the winter.
Yep.
Yep.
You lose your racing family for a little while in the off season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still in Sioux City, Jason, or where are you at?
Yes, that's right. Yep. Still in Sioux City.
Okay. And Riley, are you down by Knoxville, or where are you at?
Yep. No, I'm in the shop right now in Knoxville.
In Knoxville.
Oh, so see, you can look at the car. See?
I'm actually in the office area
Oh, okay.
right now.
Okay.
I don't have the car right in front of me.
Oh.
This is the only part of the shop that I have cell service, so I gotta come into the office area to talk on the phone.
Yeah. What does the weather look like this weekend? Do you think you're gonna be able to get them in?
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good this weekend. I mean, I don't think there's any rain in the forecast. I haven't looked in a couple of days, but last thing I looked, it looked pretty good this weekend.
That's good. That's
A
awesome.
lot better than last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend wasn't good anywhere. California to PA was canceled.
I think Placerville raced, but we decided not to buy that one.
Yeah, we had to buy another subscription. We don't need
That
any more.
gets a little late for us.
Yeah.
For us old guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just glad they're moving back to Central and Eastern time for their races now. So life is getting better. Them
Yeah.
California races, I ain't gonna lie to you. And going to bed at 2:30 Vegas time is really hard on a Midwesterner too. I'm just saying.
Oh.
I said to them guys, we got back to the motorhomes. I said, you guys realize it's 4:30 in my brain, right? But anyways, now we're off track again. But I've pretty much answered my questions. Bud, you got anything?
You guys got anything else for us?
Nope, I don't got anything.
I think we're just ready to go. Yeah, I don't have much more.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing both you guys, and best of luck this weekend, Riley.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, fellas.
Jason,
See you soon.
maybe stick on for a second. You can talk to Tobe about PA for a second or two here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll do.
All right.
All right.
All
Take
right,
care,
thanks,
Riley.
See you, Riley.
Yep, see you.
All right. Bud's got to shut our other thing off yet, so we're still live.
Oh, all good.